So the Switch 2's been out for a week now. I feel like I've done enough gameplay and research to review it at this point. At least just a maybe not a full on review, obviously, but at least a first impressions review to like explain the ins and outs of this console. So, uh, obviously, I'd like to start off with just the hardware or the system itself. I think in handheld mode, it's fine. It's still very, very flat. There is no ergonomics to this thing whatsoever. It is just a flat back and a flat front. Like even the Joy Cons are just flat. Like they seem to have like flatter edges on the side, or even on the when it connects from the front to the back. It's weird. So overall ergonomics, it's bigger than the Switch One, uh, and it's flat. There's not really much else to say. In terms of the home menu, it looks identical. There is not much of a difference. It is the same home menu. We have the chat menu. We have the chat menu. We have uh, the game share option, and we have the virtual card option, but that's also now on Switch One after an update. Um, so realistically, it's literally just game share and game chat, and I think even game share is now also on Switch One. So it's not much of a difference. There's currently no themes yet. I mean, it seems like this console, because of the specs and its better hardware, that it's actually going to, work better. So it might actually get themes this time. It does have its own tab and groups though. So the folders are a tiny bit better, but not by much. Like not enough to like I don't understand how they can't just do a simple file system on the home menu. So like if you open a game within the folder comes up like if I open like just Toad and I go home, like the folder would show up, but it doesn't. I don't know how difficult that is to do. Apparently, it's very difficult. I don't know why. However, another improvement is the eShop. Ironically enough, it's it's a slight improvement, but an improvement nonetheless. For one, let me just go to great deals for a second, and then if I just scroll down, uh, oh, it still has the lag. It still has the lag, but it is significantly better than what it was on the Switch One. Like it's still going. It's still loading fine. Land on a great section for that. Um, it and also it auto plays trailers. So if there's a trailer for it, it just auto plays it. Probably turn. That's already max volume. Okay. So there is that. Uh, so it is an improvement. It still has a little bit of work to do, but like I said, anything better than the Switch One is better. Also, it is nice to have a top USB port, even though it was pretty much only made to use a camera for some reason. Then also, I would like to talk about Game Chat, which is a new feature in this thing. Uh, so obviously they are over a decade late with this feature. Xbox and PlayStation have had a basic game chat feature of some type on their systems since the 360 PS3 era, and Nintendo is just now getting to it. So, for a game chat, I think this is fine. Now, if I was a kid, this would be probably the biggest thing ever to me. I'm not a kid no more, and also Discord exists, so it's not as big of a deal. But again, if you're somebody who doesn't own a functioning computer, I guess, or an Elgato, I guess is also something to mention, as you can share your screen while playing. Not greatly. It reminds me of a Teams call share screen. That's how laggy this thing is. But overall, for what it is, it's a novelty. Like it's fun to use. It's actually usable, unlike the Nintendo app that's just like completely worthless and just not usable to use as game chat. So it is what it is. It it works for what it needs to do. Now, the other thing I would like to mention is uh, the main purpose of this console was just a spec upgrade of the original Switch 1 to do better performance, 120 FPS, and 4K resolution. Obviously, we got in 4K resolution games at this point, running on TV mode at least. However, 120 FPS. So far, the only game I know of to hit 120 FPS is the tech demo Welcome Tour, and that game sucks. It's not like I say it sucks, but I haven't played it. My bad. I didn't bother buying it because it's a tech demo. I don't want to I don't need to see 120 FPS in a tech demo. Not a single other Switch 2 launch game uses 120 FPS, nor any of the games that got updated by Nintendo. I mean, obviously that probably will be fixed in the future. Probably. I don't know. Supposedly Metroid Prime 4 is going to be 120. Gotta wait to see it though. So, yeah. The last thing I'd like to mention is the battery life. I have noticed on this thing, the battery life drains rather quickly. When I'm playing Mario Kart, I think I got about 2 hours in handheld mode. Like, I'm already down 1% just by holding it and, like, messing around the home menu. Like, it's already draining. So, I know some people have had issues with the counter being incorrect. I don't believe I've had an issue. I could have, but I don't believe I have. So, we're going to say I haven't. Another thing about the Switch 2, in terms of an issue that carried over from the Switch 1, you still don't have a way to power off the console other than from the power button. If you go here, that just turns it to sleep mode. If you hold the home button down, that is only sleep mode. You literally have to hold the power button down to get to the option to power it off. There's still no option to restart it from the menu. Not even in the settings. Like a lot of people are. It's not just a handheld. Also, notice it went down 2%. I don't understand how this is not just a basic feature to have. Like, some people only play this in TV mode. Like, just have it as an option. Don't make us go up to the button and hold it down. Like, I just don't get it. I'd like to also mention that this thing only takes microSD express cards. It doesn't take the normal microSDs. At the time of me recording this, I have not bought one. I've still been just using the storage card, the normal storage. See, normal storage. I have 34 gigabytes left over, so not much left to do shit with. So I'm definitely gonna need a microSD card here soon. I get the reasoning for it. It's similar to like why PS5 only allows you to do it on like an SSD. I understand it. It's just stupid. I really don't like it. It's like, oh, it's so the load times are good. I mean, honestly speaking, I'm okay with shitty load times if it means a cheaper storage card option. But again, you can't do that on Switch 2. Yay. So pretty much your old SD card doesn't matter. So that is fun. Now, that's about it for the console itself, I believe. I don't think there's anything else. So we're going to move on to the Joy-Cons. Overall, I like holding, I mean, obviously on the console itself it's fun. The magnets instead of the sliding. It's fun to mess with like this. But also I feel like I'm going to break it like that. So overall, just holding it like this, I think it is more comfortable than the Switch One. Um, it is definitely more usable. Like I'm okay with using it like this. Like I'm not being like, damn, I really could use a normal controller by when I'm using it like this. Um, so like this mode's fine. Obviously, handheld mode is fine. The problem with these is all they did was make it bigger and add a chat button, and I guess kind of extend the bumpers. Um, and they didn't change a single goddamn thing other than that. Which leads to my next problem, which is the versatility of the Joy-Cons. So the Joy-Cons are meant to be versatile. That's why they're designed the way they're designed. So you're meant to hold it sideways, you're meant to be it on the console, you're meant to hold it normally. Okay? Holding it like this is more uncomfortable than the Switch 1 for me. I don't understand why, but it feels like I'm moving farther to one side to get to where I need to go. Right? And then like I don't have enough wiggle room. And then on top of it, the way I'm holding it, I'm always hitting the release trigger. Like my finger is always on the release trigger when I'm holding it. It's not comfortable at all. I was going a tad bit insane because that's one of the key features of the Switch in general. Maybe not the Switch 2, but if it's a sequel to the Switch, it's a key feature of the Switch 2 by default. I was going so insane that I bought the stupid fucking wheel. Okay? Just out of curiosity to see if this was more comfortable. And it just so happened that it was. But nobody is carrying the wheel around with them when they're bringing the Switch. Hell, most people didn't even buy the stupid fucking plastic wheel. I just bought it as testing purposes. This thing somehow increases the quality of the Joy-Con on the side, but it is not by much. It is not worth $25. I'll just say that. Yeah. Also mentioning, I completely forgot about this stupid thing. This thing is just as uncomfortable. Like, again, the original Joy-Cons with the grip, perfectly fine. This thing sucks. Yeah, the original was perfectly fine for what it was. Again, I still prefer the separate Joy-Cons, both instances, both the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. But the Switch 1 was more so manageable, just in case you wanted a Pro Controller like situation. But because this is so tall, like this thing sucks. Like it's so uncomfortable to use. Like it's so much taller than the Pro Controller, and that's what makes it so uncomfortable. Like it's just it doesn't work because the Joy Cons are taller. It just doesn't work. So yeah, like again, good. I don't mind this. Okay, but needs ergonomics. Ass. Now onto the Pro Controller. Now, initially, I was not gonna buy this controller. I was very much just gonna go with the Joy Cons and experience the Joy Cons for what they are. Um, Eventually, I got a bit of FOMO near the launch day, so I pre-ordered this the day before it released. So here we are. Um, However, I will admit, I am glad I pre-ordered this. I really do like this controller. I don't know if I'm $85 like this controller, but I do like this controller. The thumbsticks feel a lot better than the initial Pro Controller. The initial Pro Controller felt like I was grinding against the plastic. This does not feel like that at all. The D-pad feels nicer to use. Like it feels like I'm my inputs are fully going through. Okay. Um, and then my favorite feature on this controller, which is the reason I wanted it in the first place, but I forgot when I purchased it, and then found out again when I opened it, is the audio jack. so I can just plug in my headset and then have the audio come through my controller. It is so nice to have that, like, it makes the controller for me, honestly. Like, it makes it like my new favorite controller to use. And it has a good battery life. I haven't charged it since I got it. Like, I charged it the first day and then that was it. I really do like this controller. Yeah, so overall, I thought this was very well designed, good controller. Definitely worth the price point. Or I can't even say worth the price point, but it was definitely worth me purchasing it. I'm definitely gonna get a lot of use out of this thing. And then the last controller I got, obviously, is the GameCube controller. The GameCube controller is pretty good. And it's a GameCube controller. They got really close to the original. It feels just as good. Also they've been making these for a while. I mean, we just got them again in what, 2019 when Smash Brothers came out, 2019, 2018. So I mean, they know how to make it. This is still a really good controller. Obviously, you can still use this for a lot of games. Like Yakuza Zero, for example, like that game doesn't use the push down button, so you can use a game controller to play Yakuza Zero. Um, though you're gonna have a shitty left bumper, so have fun with that. It also has all the buttons, so you can go to the chat, you can go home, you can do the share button, connecting. Like, it still has everything, like, pretty close to a pro controller. And it is nice to use. I mean, GameCube, the app itself has the extra, like, the secret intros still, which is fun. Just with this controller specifically. So yeah, like, $65 though. No, it's not. It is not worth 65. If it was 50, maybe, but it's not worth $65. Um, I would, if you really want a GameCube controller, just do the GameCube adapter option. Um, I would suggest the 8BitDo thing, but that hasn't even gotten an update, so you can't really use that at the moment. But yeah, this is fun to use as a novelty. Uh, but again, it's not. I don't think it's $65 worth, even though it does have a decent functionality with the Switch. Now with the console itself and the controllers out of the way, we can get the most important part of this console: the camera. So I did record my unboxing video with this stupid thing. Um, it does have the shade. That's nice. The quality, even for 1080p, supposedly, was not great. Didn't really do too well. Um, After that video, I have been using it actively for the Switch 2 game chats. I think I did use it once on stream to show my dog, so that was nice. And then I've been using it for game chats, especially when talking to my friends and we're just hanging out, just out of curiosity to see how this thing worked. And for what it is, it's nice to have a option for a webcam on the Switch. Now, you don't need this webcam specifically. You can use whatever the hell webcam you want. If it's Type C, I believe. I don't know if a USB one works. I don't have a webcam other than this stupid thing, because I don't really want a webcam. But I have one now. Thank you, Nintendo. Um, but yeah, for $55, I it's not worth it. You can just use your own. The horror ones, if they're supposedly worse quality than this piece of shit, then definitely don't go with those. Uh, Now, at the time of me recording this, the Mario Party update has not come out yet. I think it's next month or the end of this month. Um, so I'm curious to see how the hell that's going to work with this stupid thing. However, with the way the what's it called, the cutout works in game chat, where it tries to cut out your entire body and or background, just to get your face, her body. It didn't work too well. So if that didn't work too well, I don't have any expectation, like good expectations from Mario Party. I'm gonna be real with you, but it's a fun novelty that is just a piece of shit. All right, now we can move on to the actual games themselves. So obviously the biggest one is Mario Kart World, the first $80 game. Ain't worth 80 fucking dollars. Now a lot of people got it with the pack in like this, so most people only paid 50 for $50. Sure, I would say it's $50 is fine. I would say that's fine for this game. Art style, really do enjoy the art style of this. I know 8 went more, I don't want to say realistic, but I guess rounded. More like pro racing style, while this went more art, cartoonish style with its design. The main tracks, go just to the map here. The main actual track design of the game, like these main ones, not the interconnecting courses. I like them a lot. I really do. I like the themes. I like the design. They're all pretty great. The unlockables, so the costumes, the hidden like NPC characters, or I guess what are they called? Enemies, I guess. There's Rainbow Road unlocked. There's the mirror mode unlocked, which I still even haven't done yet. I've been doing something stupid. That's why I haven't unlocked it yet. But they're all pretty interesting to unlock because like you can mostly unlock them while playing in game. Even costumes. Like I feel like knockout mode has been really good at unlocking costumes. NPCs are a bit RNG. Like I feel like you have to be in a certain location to unlock the character. It feels like I still haven't unlocked the dolphin yet. I'm pretty sure there's other characters I haven't unlocked yet. Because you also need somebody behind you to get Kamek in a specific area to spawn in the enemy that you need to unlock them. So they're not great. It's very much RNG related. It's very much some BS. So there's that. Obviously, the new mode is knockout mode. It is fun. Knockout mode is fun to play. It definitely feels like an online mode, like made specifically for online. So it's a fun online mode. Now, the problem with this game, I'll talk specifically about knockout mode. I am normally a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to Mario Kart. Okay, I want to get 3 stars in every damn mode, or every damn race, I should say. So like the Grand Prix, I want 3 stars in them. No, nothing else. Okay. Knockout mode is the biggest bitch to get 3 stars on. Okay. You have to get first on every lap. So, or I guess every qualifying lap, right? So you have to not get fucked at the last second and pass in first. I have gotten so many items thrown at me, so many blue shells hit me at the last second. Somehow, some way, some form, somebody either got a mushroom or a shortcut and managed to pass me last second, and I couldn't catch up because I didn't have a good item to catch up to them, or any ramps or any jumps, nothing. It is the most annoying shit, and that's just on 100cc. I haven't even done 150cc on that mode yet because I've been wanting the 3 stars on it, so I don't have to play 100cc anymore. I can just stay on 150 and get used to 150 again. Most annoying shit. Hate it. Hate it so much. Other thing I hate, the fucking open world. The open world sucks dick. It is so boring and just bad. Like, I don't understand what the hell Nintendo was on being like, oh, we got the open world. That's the gimmick. It's the open world. And like, there's missions. There's question blocks hidden on the map, and there's also tokens. All they do is unlock a sticker, and and the stupid stickers. You can only equip one at a time. You unlock all these stickers, and you can only do one at a time. Like, the open world is so useless. It is the most useless shit in this entire game. It makes no sense. Who the hell wants these stickers? Like, maybe, like, the only thing I can think of is nobody's found 200cc mode. I don't think anyone's 100%ed the game yet that I know of. Maybe that, like, if you get everything in the open world, that unlocks 200cc, which is crazy if that's the case. That's what I wanted. But, like, it's like, there's nothing. There is nothing worthwhile in that open world. Like, I am very much against games just going open world to go open world, and this is the exact reason why. Not every game needs an open world design. Okay? Just make them the way they are. And that's why there's the interconnecting courses between the main courses. The problem with that is most of them are straight lines. They're very basic and just like, I'm not gonna say underdeveloped, but they aren't fun to drive when you're just holding the A button and going straight. It's not fun to do. Then there's also the problems of having those courses in the open world within the main courses. So now the main courses where in 8 you would have like a full-on barrier. So if you ran into it, you would just stop. Like, it would stop you dead in your tracks, so you can sort of recover faster to get back on the track. So like, if last second you hit a wall right next to the finish line, you can easily just turn and then pass the finish line still. In this game, that barrier is a soft barrier. So if you hit that barrier, you run past it, Lakitu immediately picks you up, and then you have a 7-second delay, 5 to 7 second delay. I didn't count. It's a long enough delay to fuck you over, is all I'm gonna say. It is the stupidest shit. Like, the open world very much is to this game's detriment, without question. It is that bad. Okay. Now, there are some interconnecting courses that are pretty good. I can't name them off the top of my head, though, because they're so forgettable and have similar. It's very much the same as, like, the Super Nintendo, where they have the same theme. So I can't tell you what my favorite interconnecting course is off the top of my head. I can name, like, the themes of the main courses, like the Donkey Kong one. Really good. Really, it's a really good course. It leads you into, like, grinding and wall jumping. It has its own little section for grinding and wall jumping. It's really fun. The desert Gazar, is that what it's called? The Gazar, like the mini, like, desert temple. That's also fun. Rainbow Road is definitely worth unlocking. Definitely worth the cutscene for the unlock. It's a lot of fun. Like, the main courses I can name pretty good. Like, there's also the dinosaur. Like, those are so memorable. But then, like, again, the interconnecting ones are just so forgettable. Like, I can't name them. Like, oh, I really liked the course that goes from Peach's Castle to the Mario Circuit. Like, it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. And then obviously the new mechanics in this are wall grinding, or yeah, I guess wall jumping, and rail grinding. They're fun mechanics, very difficult to master. Uh, I haven't fully mastered them yet, so that could be why I'm struggling a bit. I know when I first started off playing this game, I was trying my best to figure out wall grinding and rail grinding, that type of stuff. And then I just gave up and started playing it like I normally play Mario Kart 8, and I started doing it a lot better, so that's all I've been doing. Um, so yeah, overall, it's a fun game. I would say worth $50. Definitely, definitely, definitely not worth the $80 price tag, which is what I was expecting when I was going into this game. I knew for a fact this was not an $80 game, and I was right. So let's now move on to Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2077 is interesting on the Switch because it has one of the best ways to play this game and one of the worst ways. TV mode sucks a lot. It is definitely the worst way to play this game in current day. I have not played the PS4 version in a hot minute. I have it, but I haven't played it. I think I tested it once, and that was without any updates because I was curious. But that's it. I don't have a. I like. This thing doesn't run well in TV mode, and the settings doesn't let you change it. And I checked outside before entering the game, and I checked after entering the game, and none of them lets you change the mode. It only lets you change the performance in handheld mode. And that's it. It's so weird. It's like this is a 2-in-1, but they focused on the handheld aspect, which I guess it seems like that's really what a lot of people focus on this go around, at least at launch, is the handheld. Like nothing for the TV, nothing for the other modes for the console. And the reason I bought this game is one, it was physical, and two, it has mouse controls, which is the only game other than Welcome Tour that has the mouse controls. Can you tell I really did not want to buy a Welcome Tour that I paid $70 for a game I already own on PC that runs better on PC? And I have a Steam Deck, so I already had it on handheld too. So, in handheld mode, ironically enough, wow, this thing saved really well. I honestly shocked it. In handheld mode, this thing runs surprisingly great. Like, I have it on performance mode. It runs really well. It runs smooth, almost 60. In, like, certain points. Not in all points, but in certain... Okay, I guess I was in a dialogue thing. At certain sections, it runs really well at 60 on handheld mode. But then in docked mode, it doesn't... It just... It can barely hit 30. Like, this thing can hit 45 stable in handheld mode, which is nice. But, like, if I go into the settings, then it's just video. Okay, why is it letting me change it? So it lets me change it in handheld mode, but then not on the TV. What? Sorry, I'm just now noticing this because I didn't think that it would let me change the mode for the fucking TV in handheld mode. How does that make any sense? Why can you not change it in TV mode? Why can you not change the TV setting in TV? That is the stupidest shit. Anyways, moving on. The game's Cyberpunk. Like, there's not really much to talk about the gameplay. It's more so talking about the handheld and the TV functionality. And then there's the mouse functionality. Not my cup of tea. Also, not to mention, it's not as seamless as Nintendo was advertising it, where you just plop it down and then you just move it around like normal. That's not how this thing works. In Cyberpunk, you have to enable it. You have to go in, enable the feature, then you can start using it. But then if you enable it, you can no longer use it as a normal controller. So you have to go back in the settings to disable the feature to go back to normal controller mode. It ain't seamless. So I did try the mouse a little bit. It's too thin. The controller is too thin to have like a good grip on it. So you're kind of like in this uncomfortable position, and then you're still having to use the face buttons a lot for like other things, and that's just not comfortable. For some reason in Cyberpunk they made, even though in normal mode, like obviously the triggers to shoot, The bumper is your grenade. Once you put it down as mouse mode, this becomes shoot, this becomes grenade. And it's like I would still rather have it be shoot and then grenade. I know it's because it's a mouse now, so we're gonna have it be the mouse button. We're gonna reflect the mouse buttons. Again, rather leave it all the same. But beggars can't be choosers. So yeah, like it's fine for handheld. It's definitely one of those things where it's like if I want to play Cyberpunk in handheld, this would be the way to go. It runs much better than the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck was barely able to hit 45. It was an unstable 45. This feels like a more stable 45 frames per second on handheld mode. And again, it can hit higher frame rates than the Steam Deck. It can hit 60 FPS. The Steam Deck can't hit that. It struggles to even try to hit that. So overall, good handheld version. I don't understand the settings for the TV and why you can edit in handheld mode but then not TV mode. That kind of confuses me. But overall, not bad. If you haven't played Cyberpunk and you want to play it on the go, this is not a bad option. And then the last, I guess, made for Switch 2 is what I'll call it, game to release that I was interested in was Yakuza 0. I have played Yakuza 0 too many times now. Way too many times. And I was curious on how this thing would run on the Switch. This was $50 at launch and is 50 gigabytes, which is, I think, double the size of it on Steam. So it's quite a chunky version of the game. Graphics wise, other than the cutscenes, I didn't really notice anything. It kind of looked like Yakuza 0. The cutscenes seem a tad bit better quality, possibly a better FPS. But also, again, it's still really hard to tell, like, if there is a difference. The main features of this version is the English dub, which, Jesus Christ, I really don't like the main actor for Kiryu. I'm sorry. I thought it was just because, you have a young guy voicing an old character now. Like, his voice doesn't match. But now he's voicing Kiryu when Kiryu's 21? So, like, and it doesn't work. He's not a VA. He's not a voice actor. If he is, he's not a good one. I'm sorry. It's just, that's the fact. When everyone else is so well voice casted and does so good of a job, and then you just have Kiryu sounding so stupid. Like, it's like he's so like soft spoken and whispery, and that's what makes him like hardcore, man. Even though that's clearly not what his OG VA sounds like. Like his normal Japanese VA sounds much different and sounds way better. So take that as you will. The other new mode is red light raids. It's fine. It's a fun little mode. Like, it's almost like a dungeon from Yakuza 7 or 8, but it's in Brawler. It also loads in immediately. So the way the mode works, I guess I'll go into it a bit. The way the mode works is that you start off with, I think, 100k or 80k, just enough to buy 100k to buy any character on the list. So I went with Majima, Breaker style, because I'm like, that's probably gonna be the best to take out lots of hordes. And then as you progress, you get more money to unlock characters or possibly upgrade the character you unlocked, and then you go from there. It's fine. It's very basic. Not much to talk about. Like I said, it's fine. Normal gameplay, it's Yakuza. Like, there's not much to talk about. It runs at 60. I mean, it runs at 60 FPS. It doesn't hit under 20. So, since it doesn't hit 120, like, it's the same as the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck runs this at the same quality. So if you had the choice between this and just buying it on Steam with the Steam Deck, if you already own the Steam Deck, obviously, uh, yeah, just go cheaper and buy the Steam Deck. Like, I mean, not the, just buy it on Steam for like $20 versus paying 50. Or wait, because this game, there's no way in hell this is a Switch exclusive. I doubt this is gonna be a Switch exclusive. This is gonna go on other systems at some point. It's gonna be a temporary Switch exclusive. Overall, fine. If you haven't played Yakuza 0, this is probably the best way to play Yakuza 0. So there's that. Just keep in mind that if you're going English, you're gonna have a bad time. Not only because I feel the English dub just doesn't work with Kiryu specifically. After 0, you're going to 1 through 6 with only Japanese dub, and then you only get the English dub back after once you get to 7. So it's like there. You can do the English dub all day long, but then you're going to get used to Japanese dub later down the line. And yes, I know the original one has the English dub with different VAs, but who the hell's going back to play the PS2 version? I'm sorry, it's not happening unless you are a Yakuza fan that owns the game already, like me. I guess the last Switch stuff to talk about. I guess we'll do the GameCube thing. Overall, we only get 3 games on the GameCube thing. They all run pretty well. Only one of them I think is in widescreen, which is F-Zero, but that's only because it was baked into the game on the GameCube itself, which is the only reason we got it. Me personally, I only own Wind Waker physically. On GameCube, I do own a GameCube. I do collect games, if you couldn't tell by my wall. So having F-Zero and Soul Calibur easy to play is nice, I will admit. And it seems like Nintendo's focusing on the hard to get or the expensive games in the aftermarket. So that is also nice. Obviously, these games only really run at maybe 60. I don't even think they run at 60. But they run fine. Obviously, there's nothing to compare F-Zero to and Soul Calibur with. But Wind Waker, we have a fucking remake on the Wii U. And with that being said, I much prefer to play the Wii U remake than this. It looks so much better on the Wii U, ironically enough, even though this is better hardware now. Because the original GameCube version, it's just I mean, it's the GameCube version. It looks better than just what it was on the GameCube, obviously. But when we have a remake to compare it to within the last decade, like, yeah, I would rather. I know it would have cost extra, possibly a lot extra, depending with how Nintendo's pricing their fucking games now. But I would rather have the Wii U remake on this console than the GameCube version. And I'm gonna probably say it now, just in case they put it on here. Same thing with the Twilight Princess remake. Even though I don't like Twilight Princess as a game, I'd rather play the Wii U version. So that's it for, I would say, the actual Switch 2 stuff. The only things left to talk about are Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which have a Switch 2 upgrade, which was free for expansion pass owners. They are the best they have ever looked. I will say that for a matter of fact. I love how these games run on the Switch 2. They run great. Tears of the Kingdom was some jank, especially with all the companions running at the same time on the Switch 1. Now it runs at a smooth 60, even with all the companions running. It is really, really nice. Okay? The actual performance runs really well. Like, I really do enjoy the performance boost that this got. It could have been a free update, but whatever. I mean, technically it was free if you have expansion pass, but you're also paying the monthly, so really it's not. But also, that's not the only thing here. We got an extra save slot, which should have just been a fucking update. But we got an extra save slot for these games, and we got an app. Now, I did play with the app on stream and recorded my reaction to it. If I wasn't doing it on stream, I would say the app is the worst thing ever conceived. it kind of sucks. It really does. Having the guidance be on your phone and not in game is very stupid. Uh, it's like just look up a guide at that point. Like you don't need to pay $10 to get app permissions to to tell you where to go to find shit. It just doesn't. It doesn't make it makes no sense. The Zelda memories, where it's just the Zelda VA talking into a mic. Uh, they're fine. Like to mention, I want to talk about the Breath of the Wild one because there's no point of trying to do Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. They're the same fucking game at the end of the day. So there's no point. I know like Tears has the ninja guy. I don't even know his name in like the underworld area. It's the same premise. It doesn't matter. Uh, and then there's also amiibo tracking, but then that amiibo tracking doesn't allow you to spawn in the amiibo you've already scanned, which is like, what's the point of this feature in the app? Like, none of it makes sense. Like, again, the only reason I liked it is because I had it on stream. So technically speaking, when it was navigating me, it sounded like it was coming from the game and not the app. So it was fine for me to do it. But it's like, when you're playing on the TV or in handheld mode, and then you hear your phone go off telling you directions, it's like, what are we doing here? It's not good. It's really dumb. But overall, these are still the best versions of the game now. It's just running so much better, even though the app is shit. So that's about it for the Switch 2 specific games and the Switch 2 updates. So now we're going to talk about the Switch 1, some of the Switch 1 games that had a Switch 2 minor update to like get the game running better. So like Echoes of Wisdom, for example, the game was already running at an unlocked frame rate. So all they really had to do was improve the visuals in it, and it runs a lot better now. There's not much to talk about a lot of games that got updated specifically by Nintendo. They run better. That there's not much else to say about it. However, Pokemon Scarlet we have some stuff to say about that because that game ran like complete ass. So, does it run and look better? Yes. Is it still Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Also yes. We're still having some bad pop in here and there. It still has some glitches here and there. However, one of the cutscenes, I'm not that far into Scarlet and Violet, by the way. One of the cutscenes that is very much improved are the school cutscenes, because now the kids run at an actual normal FPS. So they're doing good for themselves. Congratulations, you did good. You did good. Congratulations. I can't wait for Pokemon ZA for it to somehow be ass on the Switch 2, which would be hysterical if it is. I can't wait. I'll be there day one. And then that's about it for testing. I did test Outer Worlds out of curiosity because that also ran like shit. It did not get an update for the Switch 2, and it still runs like shit, sadly. Nothing we can do there. That's really all I can say about the games-wise. I didn't do any other testing for the Switch 1. It seems like if the game has an update, obviously it's going to run better. If the game did not have an update, then there's the possibility of it running better, but it's not really a guarantee. Like, if the game had unlocked FPS for some reason on the console like the Zeldas did, it's probably going to run better. But I'm going to assume most games probably didn't have it unlocked because it would look like complete ass if it was. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's the Switch 2. Overall, I think it's fine. I think I'm more so trying to see this as not just a Switch sequel, but also when the Switch 1 came out, it didn't have a single goddamn competitor. We now have Windows handhelds. An Xbox handheld was literally just announced. Like, we have competition in this space now. So comparing it to that is definitely one of those things where it's like, is this still worth getting compared to that? In terms of price point, because this is a $450 console, the closest competitor is the Steam Deck. Now, in terms of specs wise, I think this is a better spec console or device, I guess, than the Steam Deck. But the Steam Deck still isn't like like Switch One level spec. Like it still runs games really well. It just depends on the game. However, there is just a simplicity of the Switch and Nintendo in general, where you can just buy a console, do the setup. By the way, I forgot to mention the setup is dog shit. Do the setup, and then just plug games in and just fucking play them, and they just work. It's nice versus me just sort of having to troubleshoot whatever the Steam Deck's wanting to do or whatever Linux is screwing up next. Overall, I think this is good. Would I suggest buying it at this point in time? Uh, Generally, no. Because most people who are buying this now are either Nintendo fans or something, or diehard Nintendo fans, or just so happen to be available when they got it and they just grabbed it because they overstocked it due to the tariffs issues. The only real people I would recommend this to are the people that did not own a Switch 1. So they have a huge backlog of Switch 1 games they can play on the Switch 2 now. Or they're a diehard Nintendo fan and they want to replay their entire collection on this thing and they want the better specs and all of that, so that's why they get this. Also makes sense. But if you own a Switch 1, you don't really want to replay most of the games that you already own. On the Switch 2, you don't really care for that. This you can hold off. The only game that came out is Mario Kart World. That's it. No, I mean, I guess the GameCube thing, if you count that, but also Dolphin Emulator exists. Dolphin Emulator exists, has a lot more modes. You can actually go full screen HD in Dolphin. So, but just keep down the down low, you know. So we have Donkey Kong in July. We have a new Splatoon game of some type coming out, which was just announced recently, but doesn't even have a release date. Kirby Air Ride doesn't have a release date. Metroid Prime 4 comes out on Switch 1 as well, and we don't even have a solid release date. We only have this year. Pokemon ZA comes out. I don't remember the release date, but also comes out on the Switch 1 too. So it's just not worth it. Maybe like after a couple of years, this might be worth picking up. But also, gotta keep in mind when you pick this thing up, games are gonna start costing $80 now, because Mario Kart World cost $80. So far, no other game on the Switch have cost $80. Outer Worlds 2 cost $80. That's so far the only other game that's cost $80 so far. So we're in a bit of an impasse here, where we don't know what games are actually going to cost $80 in the future. I know for a fact the next Zelda game's going to, because that's just how Zelda is now. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was Nintendo's first $70 game. It's definitely going to continue with the $80 shit. So, yeah. It's fine. I'm still going to keep playing it for now. We're still going to play at least Mario Kart World to finish that out, get Mirror Mode. Whether I'm going to keep playing the other stuff is going to really determine the longevity of this console for me. Because like I said, once Donkey Kong comes out, there's nothing really left. Like, what else am I going to play on this stupid thing? Thank you so much for watching. I do stream on Twitch and YouTube. If you would like to check me out there, you can. I did record a lot of this footage while streaming. So, like I said, if you want to check me out there, you can. And I guess I'll see you all in the next one.